I remember when you both quit the first time, saying this is it, BTLs, you monkeys, cause you couldn't make 2 episodes a week when you said the show was canceled. What? Then you come around again and say, baby, I miss you and I swear I'm gonna change. Trust me, remember on March 11, I said I hate you, you canceled, I re-listened, I love you. Ooh, 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 you said a new episode on Monday. Ooh, 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 this time, I'm telling you, we are finally getting back together. We are finally getting back together, talking with the 2 days, where is JP, rest in peace, and we are finally getting back together.
On the last Days of Thunder.
What the hell were you doing in Manhattan? Does my girl live there? You should have told me. I know New York, Queens. Second, you went to Nello? You couldn't find a cheaper restaurant? Who orders plates at $3.25 a pop? Ever hear of a salad? Besides, Andre, the owner, is a friend. The character of the horny waiter in my Italian comedy, Togli Cuglione dalla mia zuppa, roughly translated, get your testicles out of my soup, is based on him.
Now will Hollywood executive Dan Penny and Gumshoe Snoop Godlewski settle their hash? The world wants to know, JetBlue, where are you? Penny's already scored 30,000 feet in the sky, but will the new dad go all the way with the mysterious sandwich-eating minx? Time to get the straight poop. Scramble 2. Do it, fellas.
Days of Thunder is taped before a live studio audience.
Dave, 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 Dave. Dave, 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 Dave. Dave, Dave, and Dave. Dave, Dave, and Dave. David and Dave.
Hi and hello, podcasters. I hope all's well wherever you are. Your old pal Dave Damashek here. David Feeney over there. Welcome to episode whatever of Days of Thunder. David Feeney, you look marvelous. How are you, though? On the
I'm
inside,
doing great. You have really one job on this show, which is to remember the number of which episode this is. You haven't done it already. I'm already in a bad mood.
Please don't start out like that. We
I'm
have a
salty.
lot of things. Why are you salty? You just heard there at the top. We have our continuing human drama to get to here. Snoop Godlewski, PI extraordinaire, investigating what's going on with JetBlue and his one-time client Dan Penny. A lot of people, a lot of feedback, by the way, from the BTLs and monkeys out there. Thank you.
Has America noticed? Has America noticed this struggle? My letter writing campaign. Have they voiced? Have they spoken up?
If somehow you haven't figured it out yet, go to YouTube and track down our new YouTube page. People are finding it now in the dozens and watching us kibitz. And why wouldn't you prefer to watch along instead of just having us in your ears? Put us in your eyes as well.
That's all? The dozens? I think it's more than that, isn't it?
It's more than that. I was being, self-deprecating or collectively deprecating.
He's on his A game, fellas, tonight. He's on his A game.
I'm red hot. We can only go up from here, though. That's the good news, and we'll get to that. The main event with the letters in just a little bit, but in the meantime, David Feeney, how are you? It's summertime at the time of this recording. It's the last day of June. My birthday has come and gone. We also celebrated little girlie's birthday over here. Her fourth.
That was
birthday.
yesterday. Oh, that was Monday, right? Yesterday. That was yesterday.
It's a couple days ago. It was properly yesterday, Monday, and we had not a big party. We just had the siblings over because we're practicing social distancing, of course. But we had a splendid mermaid party.
More wiffle ball. What do you guys do?
We did some wiffle ball.
How did you make her birthday about you? That's what I want to know.
Well, at every turn we were able to do that. No, we.
Do you guys just all picture Damashek just striking out his kinder, just left and right, just striking them out, like throwing 80?
It is a good question.
Music, knocking them down.
Jean-Claude Van Damashek, about a month ago in one of our wiffle ball games, said, "I said, boy, I'm throwing you the good stuff today. You've gotten to be too good a hitter now, Jean-Claude Van Damashek. I'm not sparing you any of my repertoire of wiffle ball pitches. I can break that ball any which way. And he said, what do you do? Why? Well, you got to throw me the easy ones. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Is that the right thing to do? Or am I supposed to let an 11-year-old defeat me under false pretenses?
You're doing absolutely correct. I mean, if he was
Isn't that
5,
right?
he was 8. If he was 5 or 8, then of course, then you should be letting him hit the ball. Give him some confidence. At 11, no way. Knock him down. Strike him out. The only way he's going to get better.
That's okay. Good. I feel better about myself. What's going on
Did
over at
your
your house?
father do that with you in baseball or basketball? You guys were rich. Polo, on bowling, human chess playing.
Where this story came from that I am a child of privilege.
I can also picture Damashek and his father on opposite sides of a gigantic chessboard playing with human chess pieces.
Not exactly human size, but like Donovan size. Hey, so I've decided
Look
in
at him get
honor
a
of this
crack in.
show,
Mhm.
I've gone back into the Feeney collection of
We didn't call for
2020
you, Donovan.
gifts. La Manarine. I'm going with that rosé tonight to bring a little chill to this warm summer night in Southern California. How are you, though, David Feeney?
But can I ask one question about your wine?
can.
It's a bottle a day, right? It's a bottle a day. 2 bottles a day. It's a bottle a day. A bottle a day. But you didn't answer my question though. With your father, didn't he let you win at like basketball or baseball? I remember my father would let me win until about 10 or 11. Then he would beat me, and I got better. And then, of course, this is as obvious as it gets. The day I beat him in basketball was one of the great memories of my life.
Yeah, my old man had kind of like, he looked like he was on the Hickory Huskers team. He has to this day still throws up a 2-handed set shot, doesn't ever leave his feet to do it. I couldn't vanquish him, but I don't remember until must have been right around 11 or 12 or thereabouts that I finally took down the old man in hoops. But yeah, so anyway, no, he didn't let me win, I don't think. And, I can't Connect 4. That's my number one sport.
Of course.
Am I supposed to take it easy on the little ones? I'm not going to do it.
Well, it depends on your second family. Yeah, take it easy. On the first family, no, of course not. No, you should not. You should take them down. Do you play sports with Oprah, with little lady Oprah?
Of course, she's a tremendous athlete. Of course, she's
good. What does she play? She plays basketball. She plays softball, that kind of stuff.
She was a marvelous, undersized but lightning quick point guard when she was playing basketball, and yeah, she does it all. She's super fast. She's a wonderful singer. She's a jack of
wonderful
all trades.
singer. I didn't ask about that. Wonderful singer.
She is. She's
try to get her audition out there.
Because that's what we do a lot of over at the house in sequestration. Is we do a lot of artwork. That's what we do. We do a lot of painting.
Right.
A lot of crafts, a lot of clays and everything. But listen.
I would love for my birthday, which is coming up in a couple months. I would love to get an original Oprah Damashek.
Would you really?
I would love. Okay. I would love one.
Consider it done. How about your little girl? Will get some of her earrings. She makes baubles. She makes jewels and such. Maybe she'll make your little girl for her birthday. That's
a great idea too. Did you guys? My last question about the way you were brought up, because I think it's very interesting. Mm-hmm. Did you have a basketball court at the house? Did you have like a hoop in the driveway? What did you guys have? I know you had a memorial in the backyard.
Yeah,
we had. What did you guys have?
We had a basketball hoop hung up over the garage door. How about you?
On garage, yeah. We had a hoop my father put in with cement. I could never do that now. Dig a hole. Like he had the fence pole, he had the pole digger, and he knocked it out. Then he put cement in there. He put the pole in there. It was straight. He built a hoop we had for 15 years. It was amazing. And the last time I was in Rhode Island, which was last year, and I drove by the house, the hoop is still there. He put that hoop up in like 85. That's still wonderful. There.
And you're not that level of man. You wouldn't be able to do that.
No, I guess I could follow some sort of tutorial and do it, but no, of course not. I'm not like you. I'm not Bob Vila doing everything by himself. When was the last time you did it? You didn't even cut your own grass when you were a kid. Don't give me that.
You're going in on me. I didn't say a thing about you. I didn't say boo. I didn't challenge your manhood in any way.
I thought you were going to shave your beard this week. I thought that's what I asked you to do last week. I thought you were going to shave it clean.
It may happen. It may come to that at some point.
Are you going to do the charity thing that I suggested, wherein like you take, you'll shave the beard after people pledge $15,000 and that goes to your favorite charity or something like that?
I'll do it. Yes.
I think it's a great. You can make fun all you want. I think it's a great idea. You have the hundreds of thousands of followers. I think it's a great idea.
So how are you? Listen, my birthday is come and gone.
Yeah.
Little girlie's is come and gone. Next birthday on the slate, David Feeney's.
Which you and I have to talk about what our plans are going to be. But before that, we got to talk about what our plans are going to be for the holiday that's coming up this weekend, 4th of July. Now, as we discussed at Thanksgiving, you made an ass out of yourself at my table. But what we did do before you got so sloppy drunk, we decided that the next time the two families would get together would be 4th of July.
Is that right? I guess I was so buried deep in the bottle. I don't even remember that.
You really don't remember that at all?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
We're getting. By the way, we're getting
on the show, but yeah, you do that. The two families in Encino were going to come.
Okay, that's fine on the 4th. And a couple other items I wish to self-promote, if I may. One, we're getting a cat here at the house tomorrow.
Wait, you had it, didn't you? Didn't Beth have a cat?
Beth had a cat. It died literally in her arms about 8 feet from where I sit right now. I was there. I sat there. It was lovely. Really, the cat was ailing and had been for a couple of weeks, and she picked it up, and the vet was coming over to put the cat to sleep. It was finally time. They do that at home now, so that the animal doesn't have to travel into, some stainless steel table and its last seconds spent there.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. The vet comes over to the house. This is during 19, or this is just in general? The vet.
No, this was now year and a half or two ago that the cat died.
What was Kitty's name? What was Kitty's name?
Deuce.
Dude, you hate. I know you don't like animals. I know a couple things. Damashek always, when it comes to the house, it's I don't want animals in the house ever. I don't want wild beasts, is what you call them. And shoes always come off at the door.
It's very strange. Well, sometimes, on the weekend, sometimes it's all clothes checked at the door.
With four children running around,
nudity,
eggs hanging brain. Great, good for you.
I do think
father of the year. So
I do think, as I've said before, I'll say again. I do think it's weird. First of all, if you can kind of make yourself a fly on the wall, which is another creature here on the planet Earth, and consider that one of the creatures that walks the planet Earth lives in structures made by the hands of its own species. And then we see fit to bring other creatures inside those four walls. And then we feed them food and we pick up their poop and all that kind of stuff. It's a weird marriage. And what's damning about it is fine. It makes you feel happy and everything to have that kinship with another beast. But you bring that life into your life with the understanding that if all goes well, it's going to die before you die. Why do you want to bring that pain on yourself?
That's what you always talk about.
I know we've talked about it.
No, but I know. I'm not saying that we've talked about it ad nauseum. I'm just saying that we've talked about that before, how it's wild. It's a wild beast that claws up the place and he poops everywhere, but also something that's going to die. What does that tell you, though? Isn't that just what life is? Isn't that, you enjoy this kitty or this doggy for as much as you can, for as long as you can? It brings so much joy to your life. I mean, that's just a part of life. I mean, it's going to destroy. The kids will be upset. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so her last one died literally in her lap as we were awaiting the vet. And it was quite creepy, but also lovely in a way. Like I say, that the cat.
How did you feel about the cat going away? Were you mournful? Were you sorrowful? Did you feel sad? Did you cry, or did you laugh? I didn't
want Beth to feel sad, so I picked it up out of her lap and threw it out of the window immediately for her. I didn't want to do it. I felt it was the right thing to do.
I know.
I got rid of that cat.
I've known you for 20 years.
Rubbish.
I know how you think that. I know what I have to do. When you want to turn a woman's frown upside down, you get naked and you try to make love. Did you do that night? Did you score that night?
In a weird way, in a macabre,
so disgusting,
multi-creature episode. It was quite a session. Like I say, right there, 8 feet away from where I sit currently.
But now you're getting a new kitty. What's the new cat look like? What's the new cat's name going to be?
It's going to be a black cat. And what should its name be? Why don't you take a pass at that?
We had a cat growing up that was almost completely black, and we called her Cokie because she looked like a glass of Coca-Cola, and it was just like this. She was just the sweetest little kitty. So you know what? I haven't thought about that cat in years, and that's my gift to you tonight, Cokie.
Cokie, I don't think kids should be allowed, because then you wind up with something like that, some kind of fluffy or something silly like that. I want to go with Linda or Marine or Rozzy or something like that. But the rest of the gang is very much against that. Is this
going to be a kitten or is this a full-grown cat?
It's like a year-old black cat.
Where do we get Kitty from?
I don't know. Some
friend. A breeder, right? A breeder. Damashek's breeding cats again.
No, Beth has some friend who's got a new litter of kitties, and we're getting one of them, I guess.
At a year?
Well, I guess not. I think it's the mama cat. I don't understand what goes on.
Oh my God! What kibosh this, my friend? Kibosh.
Why?
This isn't for you.
I'm not excited about it, but if we got a dog, you know how that goes. Then the kids would love it for about a week, and then I'm walking around at midnight with the dog on a leash, walking around the neighborhood.
No,
so
we have a dog, as you know,
nighttime poop or whatever.
We have a French bulldog. We got Pearl, our dog Pearl. We got her when Jennifer and I, Mrs. Feeney, my love, my lady. She's everything to me. Anyway, we got her July 10th of 2012. That's when we got her. So now we've had her for 8 years.
Wow.
And it's just the best. It's just the best. And also seeing my daughter with Pearl the dog, it is the best. She's really they walk her every day. They're best friends. It's really a great thing. So I don't think your kids will be tired of that. I really don't.
All right. Well, I will see. We're going cat in this house, and
I would get a dog, and I would get a big dog if I were you, to watch over Beth after she kicks you out.
All right. Guess what? Before we get to the letters, the big thing. One thing I want to work in here. It's your favorite game that we've ever done on Daves of Thunder, David Feeney. You ready here?
Please.
It's time for your brain on drugs. Are you ready? Put your brain on drugs, David Feeney.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
Would you rather be taking by a doctor's prescription because you have to have
game. Okay, I'm sorry. I love this game. Okay, I didn't know what you were talking about.
Would you rather be taking Myrbetriq or Ibrance? Myrbetriq or Ibrance? What do you think would be better?
I've heard of Myrbetriq. I've never heard of Ibrance. I'm gonna say Myrbetriq.
Okay, you're going Myrbetriq's?
Yeah. What about the Kinder? You want to see what the Kinder's saying?
Yeah, let's bring them in here. Let's say hello to our old pals, Little Donovan and Birdbath Gary. What's happening, fellas?
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Pretty boring so far?
No, not at all. I'm actually
No?
I'm excited for you to get the cat. I think you should get the cat.
Okay, good. Gary?
I think he's already getting the cat, Donovan.
It's
I
done.
really
What's
liked-
done is done.
I thought you were up in the air after Phoenix trying to talk you out of it or something.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm my own man.
I think the cat is a great thing. I just don't like when Beth makes you do things you don't want to do. Because I think it happens a lot, and I don't want to talk about things that we talk about when the mics are off. But Damashek,
I'm a cat man. You're right.
You're a cat man, and that's fine. But we'll get to Gary and Donovan in a second. But please, Myrbetriq, let's clean our plates.
What do you think, Myrbetriq or Ibrance, fellas?
I'll take the Myrbetriq.
Okay, and Gary?
I'll go Ibrance.
All right, well, Gary, I have bad news for you. You got the big C in your bosom, no less. Myrbetriq, all you got's an overactive bladder, and it's all cured up, Feeney and Donovan. So congratulations to the both of you. Let's do one more here.
I like this bet. I just pictured this is like Damashek's dad, who was a doctor, a millionaire doctor who knows medicine. Like, you know what I think it's time for? Your brain on drugs bit. Why is that, Dad? Like, that's the thing he keeps plugging.
Next up, would you rather be on, again, this is by a doctor's prescription. You need to be on this. That's his professional recommendation. Do you want to be on Nucala or Biktarvy? Which is your choice, David Feeney? Nucala or
Biktarvy, just because it's a great sounding name.
You want the Biktarvy? Okay.
Give me the Biktarvy.
Gary?
I'm going Biktarvy, too. I've seen commercials for that one. I can't remember what it's for, but it can't be that bad.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I also like the name Biktarvy, but I'll go with the first one just to change it.
Well, Donovan, I regret to inform you, you've got the asthma. And Feeney and Gary, I got even worse news for you. You both got the HIV.
Oh, God.
So,
I'm sorry to hear that. I thought I was
I'm
being
sorry
careful.
for you.
I was being
You're
very
going to be
safe.
all right.
I'm so sorry.
You're going to be all right. Hey, so like I was saying, we, like the rest of the world, we've spent
Shouldn't we be applauding that bit's over? It was so successful.
I love that bit, and I don't care what you think. I think it's a lot of fun to play.
I'm sorry, Dr. Lee Damashek, but
you know what would be
great?
Miss. You know what would be great is if there were stakes. That's what they always say with these things. You need stakes. The stakes is that you have to start taking the drug for the next month if you get it wrong. Now,
those are some high stakes, brother. Did I just bet $5 on it or something?
I guess so. Entresto or Xeljanz?
Entresto or Zeljans?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say give me Zeljans. Give me some Zeljans. Entresto or Zeljans? Zeljans.
Right.
I'll go Zeljans too.
I'll take the Entresto.
All right. The Entresto. Sorry, Donovan, you got heart disease. The Zeljans gang. You just got a little touch of rheumatoid arthritis. Relatively speaking, you'll take it. Hey, Sofini.
I swear to God, I'm also picturing, my mind's a mess today. I'm picturing you and Beth like 2 a.m, you waking her up. Hey, sweetie, does this one sound funny? Zeljans?
One more.
She's like, the cat's name? He's like, no, for a bit on the show. You're still doing that? You're still doing that podcast? Yeah, what do you think I'm doing every Tuesday?
Otezla or Antivio?
Otezla. Because I think I know what that is. Otezla.
Same.
Okay.
I will do the Antivio.
All right. The Otezla people, you got plaque psoriasis. Antivio, you got the colitis or Crohn's. Means you got you got a bad bum. You got an inconsistent bum.
What that is.
I also like, as I've said before, to repeat another bit. Imagine being so vain. It's one thing if you invent something that improves society, and so therefore you name it after yourself. Imagine though being Dr. Seth Crone and being like, you know what my legacy is? The poop disease. Name it after me. Yes, for all of time. Let anyone who bears the surname Crohn be remembered. Whenever you hear the name Crohn, I hope you think of inconsistent bowels. You're welcome to all my future generations. What kind of person?
I completely agree with you.
Billy Parkinson. What do Billy Parkinson? Yes, give me that debilitating disease. Let it serve as a reminder for the rest of man's recorded history. Because
the flip side of that is like Louis Pasteur, pasteurized, outstanding. Or the gold standard to me, Heimlich. The Heimlich maneuver.
That's great, right? If you're Paul Brown and you name a football team after yourself, also great. A disease, not as good. The name after yourself.
What's the Damashek maneuver? That's what
Randy Hodgkin. Well, remember me, everyone.
The Damashek maneuver usually is just leaving the table before the check comes.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just talking about the Heimlich maneuver, the Crohn's. I know you got. I'm so sorry. I know you got Crohn's panel. I'm sorry, but
I'm trying to do my disease chunk, and you're getting in the way of it.
I'm saying I completely agree with you. I think that like the Crohn's and Parkinson's, that's a Hodgkin, that's terrible. But the flip side of that being like the Heimlich maneuver and everything. And I was trying to bring it back to you. I'm sorry, but I think that's absolutely right. There's some disgusting things that like you don't want those things to your name at all. I would have changed my name probably at this point.
Oh yeah, but you understand
that with Crohn, but something like I maybe would have changed my name.
Also, what about the Dr. Tony Papp? Listen, every time a lady gets in the stirrups in the doctor's office, I want them thinking about Papp, because that's my smear. That's not anybody's smear. That's my smear.
Damashek has already got the microphone. All he needs to do is go back and forth on a stage with this.
And send me back to 1961, and I'll be
with this tight 15 on. No, I do like it. By the way, can I bring something up?
You can.
What happened to Donovan? You were going to come up. You were going to have a bit for us this week. What was the bit?
Gary and I were going to do a duet.
And what happened? What happened to this? I found this out in the production meeting. What happened?
I'm sorry, I biffed it.
Why did you biff it?
The week got away from me. I just didn't have time to fully write it out.
Well, how did the week get away from you?
Write it out. What does that mean? Write it out.
I write these songs. I don't. They're not.
How did the week get away from you? Wedding plans?
No, it was Jen's birthday, and work has been pretty tough. Very busy. I just sorry about that, guys. I do feel awful.
Can you imagine if this was someone's gig and that didn't, like, I can't believe it. I mean, here's what I want to do.
I don't think it's okay. I'm sorry.
Remember back in the day? Remember back when we did Dave's of Thunder version 1 or installment 1, stage 1? We you guys would come up with bits once in a while. Remember, you came up with double D's. You came up with a bunch of stuff. I want more. I want some more bits. I want some bits.
Okay, you got it.
You too, sir, Gary. Gary, this is you too. Some bits. This is the big leagues, baby. If you're going to work with me,
you're right. You're
talking to the best.
I will have a
you're not talking to Fondelier, whatever his name is. You're dealing with the best here. How about some bits? How about next week we do this? How about next week we come up with some bits?
Okay. You got it.
You guys, David, what about that idea? Next week, these two guys pitch us 5 bits each, 3 bits each, something like that.
Well, so we're the head writers and they're pitching to us?
That's absolutely right. I want to hear like 3 ideas each of you, like what a great bit would be, that kind of thing. I haven't heard a Chillax show in a while. You can't pitch Chillax. You've already pitched Chillax. I haven't heard of Just Gary in a while. And by the way, isn't it interesting? Once Just Gary did this to me, all of a sudden now there ain't no more Just Garys.
Well, yeah, that's Gary made that bet when he hired Yonders as his head writer. That was a mistake.
I still can't believe that. I still can't get over that.
I'm curious though, Feeney. Before anything else, yeah, listen, I'll be interested to hear the pitches next week. In the meantime,
just to end that, I'm so sorry, but what should be just like with your drug bit? Like they would have had to take the drug. What is the penalty or the reward? Whoever wins. Let's make this a contest.
Donovan and Gary both like relegation, right? In soccer, how they do it over in the Premier League in the UK.
Mean? What does that mean, relegation?
Relegation. It's something that would be great if they would do it in baseball in the U.S. The team that I'm not sure exactly of how it works, but if you finish last, you get sent down to the minor leagues. And then the first place team in minors gets brought up a level.
This is great.
Sports would be great if we could do that. I mean, we don't have anybody to replace them with.
This is why I still am in.
Who do you want to replace them with, though, if we do relegation?
We can maybe have somebody, one of the BTLs or monkeys.
You're gonna have a monkey fill a seat?
What about whoever's idea we like? We go with that idea. Whoever's idea we don't like, they get sent down for a week, and we have someone else take their place.
I see. To think about things, just like it's a 1-week penalty.
Yeah, exactly. You'll both still be doing the show, just one of you won't be on camera 1 week.
All right.
What do you think about that? I kind of dig this idea. It's kind of great.
Relegation.
And sooner or later, you'll replace me, and I'll be fine. I think it's a pretty good idea. That's a hot seat. You guys have hot seats. People want to sit. They want to sit in those hot seats.
Yeah, I'm in. Gary, we'll miss you.
Ooh. The intimidation, the game of trash talk has begun.
Okay. He biffed it this week, and all of a sudden he's got balls.
Dave and Dave, I look forward to sitting next to you and Frank Tattoo next week.
Oh, digging into the Old Testament. I like it. So, Feeney, so your birthday is approaching. So we're pretty much into the month of July now. So we're right in between my birthday and your birthday.
Sure.
And something I brought up to our mutual pal, Adam Carolla, on Good Sports. I encourage you to go back and listen to that. And by the way, while I'm promoting stuff, on Thursday, July 2nd, so at the time of this recording, right now as we speak, on NFL Network, I encourage Nate Demand that you set your DVRs for it from 8 p.m. Eastern to 10:30 Eastern. So on the Pacific Coast, of course, we're talking about 5 to 8:30 p.m. It's my What If show that I did with a bunch of NFL media colleagues. Go check it out. All the best stuff. Like, what if Andrew Luck had come out a year earlier when he was going to? Would Cam Newton still have gone to the Panthers? Answer, no. He would have wound up in Denver. It sets up a whole chain of – these are the things we talk about. Immaculate reception.
I love that idea. I love that show. I love that. I've always loved that. I think that's going to be great. You know who's going to tune in? Dave Feeney. You know why? Big fan.
Ah, that's very nice.
Love everything you put your name on, I love.
To the matter at hand,
including, by the way, because I texted you 2 nights ago, buddy. I texted you maybe it was last night. I texted you because what was on like the Pop channel on DirecTV at 11 o'clock at night. This is Sunday night. Your episode of Scorpion was on.
It was?
I texted you. You didn't respond.
I didn't get your text, but I heard it was playing over in the UK.
Why are you so crazy
over in the UK?
Why are you so crazy with text? You don't return. Why?
I didn't get it. I told you that's one of those things. I'm allowed to hi-hat you on text message, but shame the devil if anyone ever does it to me. Now, I want to know about
psychotic behavior.
Something that came up with Adam Carolla the other day was, as we blew past my birthday. It occurs to me every year on June 11th that I might have the greatest collection of celebrities and do-gooders and ne'er-do-wells, icons, one way or the other, through man's recorded history, born on June 11th. Any birthday out of the 365 available, I think I might have the best collection, the rangiest collection. And so I challenged Adam Carolla with his birthday mates to beat me, and it was a blowout. Let me just tell you, I want to pull up August 11th.
That's my birthday. That's right. Very good.
Yes, I know. All the Feedsters Union is ready to celebrate in a little more than a month from now. But my birthday includes, just so you know, talk about range.
Yeah.
One of the all-time greatest quarterbacks in football history, Joe Montana. One of the all-time greatest coaches, Vince Lombardi. Explorer of 2/3 of the Big Blue Marble, a.k.a. the Sea, Jacques Cousteau.
Cousteau, sure.
Adrian Barbeau was born on the greatest straight man in the history of cinema, Gene Wilder, was born on my birthday. Is he the best ever? Is he the most underrated
straight man? He wasn't a straight man. He was.
I consider him playing it straighter again.
With Zero Mostel, I guess he was in the producers, but no, he was hysterical. He's one of the greats. Well,
he plays it straight in Blazing Saddles too.
Yeah, you can't. And
he's straight. He's straighter.
Young Frankenstein, he can't, and certainly in Willy Wonka, you can't. Willy Wonka, but
no, you're right. Okay, that's an unfair.
Willy Wonka, his best performance of all time.
Wonka is
arguably my favorite performance ever in a movie. I love it.
Your favorite performance
I just think
by
that,
an actor.
As far as that character comes in, he just owns the movie from the get-go. Always you're not sure where he's coming from his walk-in to the ending. It's just a fabulous piece of work. Fabulous.
He's creepy, right?
He's creepy, but he's sweet. He's hysterical. He's just hysterical. But you're not sure whether or not he's murderous or not. You just don't know where he's coming from, and it's genius. But go ahead, finish your list. So
wait a second, I love it. No, I love that. I'm just running through some of the great names born on Damashek's birthday, August 11th. Though I'm gonna have to.
I know one that's good. That
you got a pretty good one. Who?
Hulk Hogan.
You got Hulk Hogan.
Right.
You got Hogan in your corner. That's great. You got Chris Hemsworth. Is that the Hulk or his brother?
Who is that, Donovan?
Hemsworth is Thor, I think.
It's Thor. I'm sorry, the Hulk. Thor, right. That's good. Okay. Viola Davis.
Great.
You got Joe Rogan.
Viola Davis. Is she from Rhode Island?
She is.
I want to say she is. I'm probably wrong, but I want to say she is.
You got Rogan. You got Tommy Lahren, right-wing voice.
She was born on August 11th,
from
really?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, okay.
I mean, with all due respect, it's not a bad birthday. It doesn't match up with June 11th, though. I think we'll agree, right?
No, who else?
That's pretty much the. I also have Dinklage. I have Shia LaBeouf.
Sure.
I have Hugh Laurie. That's also Henry Hill.
You know what's
and Dr. Oz.
What is so wild about Henry Hill being born on June 11th? What's weird about that is that
Don't tell me what it is. He was out front of the bar that he burned down on June 11th, 1970, while not that far away in these United States, a little southwest of New York City, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, McGee Hospital, to be exact. Dave Damashek was making his first appearance on
You're close. That was June 11th, 1970 in Goodfellas, and it happened in real life is when they killed Billy Batts. It wasn't when they burned down the...
I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, right.
Billy Batts came back from jail, and he, was go get a shine, go get your shine box.
That's June 11th.
Shine box, and they whack him. They just whack him going, in one of the great sequences of all time.
I was just going to say, greatest... I don't even know how to measure this. 15 or 20 minute stretches in movie history. I think that would be up there, right?
Goodfellas. I think anything in Raiders of the Lost Ark is probably right.
I think Kill Bill. I think Kill Bill, the second part, from the moment that Daryl Hannah shows up with the eye patch. No, from the moment, yeah, that's about right. Yeah, when she shows up with the eye patch and the briefcase full of loot and the black mamba that then bites, what's his name, Madsen,
sure,
Michael Madsen, and then the sword fight in the trailer.
Yeah,
I think that chunk.
That's a great
stands up with just about any stretch you can think of. Right?
You don't think Raiders of the Lost Ark is a good choice? I
would go with Temple of Doom's opening 20 minutes.
Opening 20 and last 20 as well. Is
right. From the time from the start of the picture, from Temple of Doom till the time that the raft that falls out of the airplane lands on the snow and rides all the way down into the river. I think that's as good a chunk of movie that you'll ever see. Raiders of the Lost Ark, though, I'm glad you brought it up because the little boy Hoover Damashek,
artful Donovan,
little 5-year-old boy, he now is keen, and I don't know how to take it because I think it's because Jean-Claude Van Damme told him that Raiders of the Lost Ark is awesome. So now he likes Indiana Jones. And his little sister then said, little 4-year-old girlie now said, well, I don't want to watch this show. What is it? And he's like, and I said, well, he's an adventurer and he goes out and he gets chased and he goes out. He's like, no. They got treasures. He is a man who get treasures with a whip. Right. And he loves this guy now. Indiana Jones.
He's a scoundrel, though. Indiana Jones is a scoundrel.
It's funny that he did vibe to it a week after we were talking about Dr. Right. Jones. But is that inappropriate for
I think for a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old? Yeah, of course. When I first saw it, I think I was 9 when I saw it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I saw it. I was, I think, 7 when I saw it.
And, Alfred, the worst thing in the whole picture is when Alfred Molina gets it.
No, the worst thing that happens is the melted faces.
Melted faces.
That's the weird thing, of course. And I mean, I don't think it's great that the bald Nazi gets caught up in the airplane propeller. That's not great.
Would you call it meta? Is that movie meta kind of stuff that like referencing every kind of movie trope in action movie history, like when Dr. Jones gets his head put down on the bar in Nepal and the fire is running towards him and he sees Mary and he says, whiskey. And she gives him the whiskey bottle and he hits it over the head of the guy who was about to kill him. Those little jokes are just the best, right?
It's an hysterical movie. Just like, son of a bitch, like that kind of thing. It's really, it's just a tremendous piece of work. I think it's hysterical. It's hysterical. Salah's great. I guess there's certain parts of Raiders you can show him and her, like the part with the monkey before he has the bad dates. That's good. That's pretty great. When they're going through the desert, that kind of stuff. I don't know.
We are not thirsty. It's just the best. I love.
That's when that guy comes into the bar and that bar scene is just the best.
Yeah, it's a great picture. I was thinking about those showing now Jean-Claude Van Damme Die Hard, but now both Beth and Cindy have said, "Oh no, that's not appropriate for."
They're speaking again, the two of them.
That's right. Is that a bad picture for them to see?
Die Hard.
Yes, I told you this is all tracking
at 13 and 11. Maybe 13, maybe for Oprah, that's fine, but for the little boy, no. I didn't see that movie until after it came out. I saw it when it was on HBO. So I think
21st century 16, version. You're one of them show business writers. Why don't you do this? 21st century version of Brady Bunch, the Davy Bunch, and instead of two families come together.
That should be on Donovan's list, not your list of things.
And it should be the 4 kids and the 2 women of Damashek after I kick, and they all move in together, and because to money's tight and everything else, and the 2 women, past lovers of mine, raise the 4 kids together. That's a great idea. That's a great update.
Yeah, and I liked it when you pitched it 3 months ago, and then 6 months ago, and then 9 months ago. Gary, 45, please.
We love Big Ben. Big Ben's a friend of mine. Big Ben's great.
How about you? What are you running on your house? What's going on in your house?
Well, we're not there yet when it comes to those things. My daughter has movie night like once a week, and we watch a little bit of TV. But this morning, Daddy got up really early, and so did my daughter. And just the best because she wanted to watch something, so I decided to show her some old Bugs Bunny cartoons. And it's the greatest. That rabbit's a pistol. But the best one that I showed this morning was the one where the teetotalers are playing the Gas House Gorillas in a baseball game at the Polo Grounds, and they're up like 96-0. And then everyone's cheering for the Gas House Gorillas. And then you hear in the outfield, boo, boo, boo. And it's Bugs Bunny with a carrot and a hot dog bun. He's like, I could beat those Gas House Gorillas with one hand tie. I could beat them just one. And they go, oh, yeah? So then the starting 9 for the Gas House Gorillas played Bugs Bunny 9-1. And Bugs just destroys them. What I love about the Gas House Gorilla, my daughter just fascinated, just loving and laughing at it. The Gas House Gorillas, they're not all just wearing stirrups and hats. One of them's got a cigar in his mouth when he's pitching. Imagine that.
That's right.
Imagine a major league pitcher with a cigar in his mouth while he's pitching. How great would that be? Another one's got a little stoolie a derby on, and it's just great. As soon as Bugs scores like 3 runs, they start panicking and they beat up the umpire. And then a Gas House Gorilla gets in the umpire's clothes and calls him safe when he was out and blah blah. It's just the best. It's just the best.
It is very funny.
Do you remember that one, Bubby, or no?
Oh, I remember it very well. I remember when Bugs throws this super slow ball to the slugger, and 1, 2, 3, you're out. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, you're out.
I like that. I like that Bugs is up 96-95 or something like that in the last inning. There's 2 outs, and Bugs throws a pitch to some guy who he's ready to swing. Then he calls time and goes and takes an axe and chops down a tree. And then he fashions that into a bat, and he takes that at the big. Bugs throws a fastball, and he hits it out of the park. So what does Bugs do? He gets in a cab to chase the ball. and as Bugs is in the passenger seat, he's just reading the newspaper. And then all of a sudden, the cab turns around. He goes, "Hey, where are you going?" Then he looks at the cab driver's picture, and it's the pitcher from the Gas House Gorillas, and is like, and he's laughing. So Bugs gets out of the cab, gets into a bus, takes the bus to the Empire State Building, goes up, fashions himself on a flagpole and gets himself up there and catches the ball, and that's the end of the show. It's dynamite.
It really is excellent, and that flying ball reminds me, and I'm not going to get into it here for the millionth time, but why show business decided to wage war against all Pittsburgh sports, including in the natural. That's who the Knights beat. That's who Roy Hobbs hits the home run against, of course, into the lights, and the shards of glass fall down and everything else in the outfield, all over the outfielders. And who is that team? It's the Pittsburgh Pirates. But then they cut away to the baseball, and it's still flying, and it's flying, and then it cuts to in a cornfield his teenage son, the son that he had with Glenn Close forever ago. That kid catches the ball, and then he takes it. He has no lines that I can think of in the picture. Maybe when Hobbs meets him in Glenn Close's Chicago apartment briefly, after they go to the Five and Dime, and they have the soda shop, and they have a shake together.
Right, a soda.
When they the kid maybe has a line or two there, but very slight work for the child actor there. But then he catches the ball, and then he throws it back to Roy Hobbs. It's the last shot of the whole picture. The kid gets the ball. This is Roy Hobbs, the legend in just 1 year. He gets the ball, and he throws it back to his old man like this. Throws it like he doesn't ever throw a ball. Why didn't they cast somebody who could throw a ball? The kid has no lines. Why couldn't he throw a ball normally?
I think that was probably on purpose. He grew up without a dad. His dad didn't teach him how to throw a baseball. Now Hobbs is going to teach him how to throw a baseball. How great will that be?
You know what? That is exactly the correct answer. I think you're right. I was a little bit cynical there, and you're right. That is probably the story. How do you expect them to throw? Glenn Close was going to teach him how to do it the right way?
That's the saddest moment of that movie is when
What Gary's excuse is, I have no idea.
When Glenn Close goes to the soda shop the first time, and she's reading the newspaper, and she orders a soda. She's just going there by herself to order a soda. She just wants to get out of the house. She orders a soda at the counter, and then she sees the newspaper that Roy Hobbs hits it. She's like, "Oh my God, Roy Hobbs is still playing baseball." But the fact that she just went there and just ordered a soda for herself. Have you ever just gone and get a soda?
To go, yeah, listen, it was a different
You don't go to
time.
bars alone. You never went to bars alone. You.
Oh, untrue.
Not out here in Los Angeles. You never did that.
Not in Los Angeles, no. But in Chicago, I lived on the north side, and I was 48 steps from the Duke of Perth on the north side, right on Clark Street there, Clark and Oakdale. If you ever want to take the Damashek Chicago tour, you can. I don't know if they're still running that over there, but you would certainly go to 654 Oakdale and visit my old home, and you'll find it's right outside this bar, and I would go over there. Sometimes it would be a Tuesday night, you know what, and the man got Damashek down, and I wasn't going to let him stay that way all night, so I'd go over there and I'd have a few, and I'd show the man what for, who was boss at the end of the day.
What else do we got going on tonight? Do we got letters? What do we got going on? Do we have stuff?
Yeah, do we have letters? We got Feeney's letters with Jet.
We got JetBlue letters coming up. But we got
how much of this show do we have to hack up before, are you gonna take anything out here, Gary or Donovan?
Absolutely not.
I don't know. I felt like the beginning wasn't the greatest. Do you agree, Feeney, or what?
I don't agree, and I hate playing into this. I don't like playing.
I don't know why you don't like to talk about it.
I don't know why you're self-deprecating. I can't. This is. I mean, what I'm marveled at. This guy. This self-deprecating. Oh, woe was me. Oh, shucks. Oh, I don't know. That got 2 wives. That behavior got 2 wives.
That's right.
Amazing.
You guys want to read a couple emails, and then we can
let's go through a couple emails.
Let's put the pedal to the metal here, Gary. Come on.
All right, our first one here comes from Marty. Subject line is, "Hey, handsome." It says, "Gary, looking great, hot rod. Question for Feeney: have you ever been in the house?"
Hold on. I'm so sorry. That's right. We said last week that in order to get red, you got to kiss Gary's ass.
Yes, and the listeners.
That's great.
You don't know that's why this
Gary, as he's proving, you can lie to Gary. Doesn't matter.
Maybe how do you know though, Feeney? Why are you being a cynic now? Maybe this is somebody just expressing their sincere thoughts. Maybe
that's a great point. I apologize
based on your encouragement.
Gary, start over. So sorry, buddy.
Sure. Hey, handsome. Subject line: Gary, looking great, hot rod. Question for Feeney: have you ever been in the house when Shek decides it's time for Beth to quote take her medicine? If so, how did you respond? Marty.
I like hot rod. That's a compliment.
To take her medicine, I'm assuming that means what? That he makes love?
I guess.
Medicine? What does take her medicine mean, Damashek?
Well,
I don't know.
Is that what you talked about? I mean, I'll be honest, I've never been invited.
I like that. I like that. Before going in coitus, time for you to take your medicine.
I mean, what that implies is that she is almost like, oh, I got to take my medicine because who likes taking medicine? I don't like that at all, and I think that's disrespectful. But I'll say, no, I've never been invited over to Damashek's house, not by Beth anyway, certainly.
No, I mean, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before, but I'm a surprisingly vigorous and powerful lover, and I don't think anybody takes it as some sort of a punishment when it's time to go between the sheets with Dave Damashek.
Take her medicine. If I were ever to be invited over to his house, if I ever were going to be able to get past Ivan the guard gate, and that happened, I would probably, if Damashek at all got naked or just said, you know what, I'm going to go make love to my wife, no, I'd get the hell out of there. First, I would say, hey, Beth, you want to get out of here? And she'd probably come with me. Beth,
next question.
Blink once, Beth. Go ahead.
All right. Let's see here. A love letter to Damashek.
Oh.
You will never be as iconic as Dieter Brock, but that sounds like a personal problem. Feeney outperformed Black Tie every step of the way, but I guess they couldn't afford a major Hollywood star. I'll miss the DDFP as it was the first podcast I ever listened to as a youngster, but I'm looking forward to your future endeavors. Trying not to be overly sentimental, but I'll really miss you flapping your gums with your horrid takes on Big Ben. Your team is shit, just by the way. Skol, Austin.
Ah, that's very nice. You know what? The greatest compliment people very often intend to subtly insult, but I find it the greatest compliment of all when people disagree with my Steelers affection, and yet they still listen to me talk about pro football. Thank you very much. That's there's no greater. Of course, a Steelers fan is going to agree with me because I like the Steelers. The best is when my chief rivals, fans of my chief rivals, support the show. And we have, it's not my thing to be kibitzing about what's coming up here, but we are less than now 3 weeks away from getting going with something else, and we'll have that for you very soon. Thank you.
That letter did not have any kissing up to Gary. Why would you read it, Gary?
That's a good point.
I just, that one slipped through the cracks. But we'll go with this
Gary
one.
Okay this week? Is Gary okay? Are you okay, buddy? You just tired?
I'm
good.
A long
day.
Yes, it's been a long.
Is Donovan annoying you again?
Listen, we'll hash that out next week when we, demote.
I can't
wait a second. Is there heat? Is there heat? Is there Discord? No.
Is this from Drinkwater? Is this a holdover, a carryover from Drinkwater?
Why didn't Feeney get his invite yet to the water cooler program? By the way,
it's a great question.
We're working on it. We're going through some scheduling changes this week, but I absolutely want Feeney on, and I want to make sure he's on the right episode.
I don't know what that means.
You'll see.
One when you're not on.
That may be the next Daves of Thunder if you don't pitch well enough here.
I can't wait. I can't wait for next week. I want to hear these pitches. I can't wait.
All right, you guys want to do one more email?
One more email, sure.
All right. Let's see. Subject line: DOT suggestions. Gary, I'm a wreck right now just imagining your beautiful brown eyes reading these words.
Great.
To answer the often asked question, Fiendsters Union. Call me crazy, but I prefer the funny Dave to the one that lists colors as pseudo entertainment.
That's very nice, Dave.
I don't think that's very nice at all. I think it's quite rude, in fact.
Pseudo entertainment is awesome.
I call it infotainment, is what it is.
I know,
but I do.
We call it something different.
The Daves asked for suggestions for the show.
Wait till they hear brain on drugs. This guy's going to feel like a real heel, whoever wrote this.
See, that's going to be weird when we cut that part out.
Suggested number 1, a Raiders of the Lost Ark style shot-for-shot drinking competition between the two Daves. The first one to pass out onto the floor is the loser. Maybe an online gambling site could set some odds, and us, the fans, could wager on the outcome. I'd set the over-under at 11 and list Feeney as the favorite at -160.
I would take Feeney in that as well. He would be the Marion Ravenswood to my heavy set
barman from Nepal, right? Yeah.
Speaking of funny things, that is a very funny bit when she drinks the whiskey and she almost passes out, and then she turns the shot glass over and she puts it down, and the room all cheers, and then the fat guy drinks his shot and he smiles and then just holds his face, does not move, and just slowly tips over. It's just great.
It's a great way. It's an ingenious way to introduce a character. That's right. I think that's a great idea. Once we've talked about that before. It's a great idea. You and I doing some sort of drink contest.
There actually,
I would do it.
Here.
You know what we should do? We should do a. I wave the white flag before we ever begin. I've seen Feeney drink whiskey, and I've seen myself drink whiskey. Feeney would annihilate me in that. But I think if we did something like, I don't know, I guess we'd be the oldest people in the history of people to do this, but maybe we should do like what is it, like the power hour or whatever, where you drink a shot of beer every minute for 60 minutes or something like that. You ever done that, Feeney?
I've never done that. What I've also talked about doing with you is that we should do, it's like, it's chess boxing. It's 3 minutes of boxing and then 3 minutes of chess, then 3 minutes of boxing and 3 minutes of chess. They have this downtown, and it's marvelous. It's just marvelous. These guys get messed up, and they don't know what paces they're moving. It's outstanding. We should definitely do that. Also, you and I were going to have a boxing. Remember, you and I were going to box this year?
I never agreed to that. You challenged me to it. Again, you've had professional training in that sport. Okay.
Let's hear these other two ideas, please, Gary.
All right, suggestion number 2. Jacuzzi Pete may be gone, but there are still jacuzzis. A 4-man jacuzzi podcast would be fun, and maybe the peace offering that allows Pete's troubled soul to finally rest.
I like that he's in limbo right now. He's in some sort of purgatory, and all he needs is the 4 of us to put our asses in some hot water.
I guess.
Okay.
Suggestion number 3. How about somebody other than Feeney bring something to the GD table during these podcasts, other than mindless baby talk to random kids who wander into the room? Big fan from the beginning. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Ross. And he says,
is it good work or is it not?
He says, what, buddy? Keep up the good work, Ross. Then what does he say?
Beneath it, it seems like Ross may be a pseudonym because it says Rags on Sticks Survivor. And the email's from a gentleman named Mike. So,
I thoroughly enjoyed seeing Damashek's little boy and little daughter on the show, and my daughter got heard 15 minutes as well. So great. So I don't like that, but I agree. But this is what we're talking about. Donovan, Gary, you got to come up with something. I'm not kidding around. It's time to go to work.
You're right.
No, next Tuesday.
Beanie is salty. This must be the Big Tarvey speaking.
You don't think? Look at him call it back, Donovan. You don't gotta laugh at that. Donovan got me in a bad mood at the start. He was like, Donovan, we had all these technical troubles. Donovan was like, don't worry, I just got to figure out my 20s and using just all these showing off with all this radio, this podcast jargon. We gotta roll tape in a minute. Roll. I don't know what that means. And do you hear my 7? No, I don't know what your 7 means. I don't know what your 7 means.
We've been doing this for a while, but you're right. I was getting a little too technical with my
lot of Kennedys in my earphones. What is a Kennedy? No idea.
What's not in my ears is the Phil Collins, Philip Bailey acoustic version of Easy Lover. That's what's not in, or I should say the Donovan and Gary acoustic version of that classic hit. Any more letters, or is it time for the main event?
Gary, did we A-B it? No, we didn't A-B it. What does A-B it mean?
I really didn't say that.
By the way, that reminds me of another movie that I enjoy more and more with each viewing, and we're now moving into 3 digits as far as viewing. Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights has been on a ton lately, and it just gets better and better.
And it's fabulous. It's fabulous. It's fabulous.
My favorite.
There's a great. It was on maybe a week ago, and I was going to watch 15 minutes of it. I ended up watching most of the movie. So then, of course, when I can't sleep, I go on. I just try to get everything. I listen to everything. I can't read anything I can about it. And there's a Paul Thomas Anderson interview when he talks about the sequence where William H. Macy shoots himself. That's on you. That's tremendous. I won't ruin it for people.
Is that a single shot the whole way through?
Yeah, it is. And he talks about what happened. He was so proud of it. And he talks about what happens when he goes to a test screening in UCL in Westwood, and how people are laughing throughout it, and how he was terrified. He was just like, I ruined the movie, and then how it ends up. It's just fabulous. You should listen to it.
It really is. I mean, it's one long extended shot of Macy going out to his car to get the gun, coming back through as they're counting down, everybody racing into the main room as they count down to the new year, 10, 9, and he pulls the trigger at around 3, 2, and the room kind of reacts to it. Oh, it's a marvelous picture. Yes.
As you know, and I'm sure, he wrote that for DiCaprio. It was going to be DiCaprio to the last minute.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Then he decided to do Titanic instead, which is a good move. that was a good move on DiCaprio's part. But then he got Wahlberg, and Wahlberg is fabulous.
I thought Boogie Nights is 98. No,
it is.
And so 96. Okay, 97.
Well, Titanic took 16 years to shoot or something like that.
I didn't know that was supposed to be DiCaprio.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Either way.
Isn't that great? It's just great. You should listen to the making of that thing. It's really, really phenomenal.
I mean, it's a dynamite picture. I can't decide which is. By the way, talk about a straight man. Again, maybe not properly defining his entire body of work, but John C. Reilly, right?
Yeah, great.
Hysterical when they're making the record, when they're
awesome.
That's
he's good.
YP MP. I don't understand your technical jargon, but
right. The guy who owns the studio in that movie, that white hair guy, that's Robert Downey Jr.'s father, Robert Downey Sr.
Is that true?
Yeah, the director. Yeah, he's big influence on him.
No idea. I'm Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get to it already.
All right, let's do it. Go ahead.
Let's get to it.
The continuing human saga that is Hollywood movie exec/executive Dan Penny, who if you haven't been following along with the letter writing back and forth with JetBlue, Dan Penny rode in first class and was offered a note by another passenger. Let's F in the John, right?
Right.
F in the John, right?
Yeah,
and so
F in the
did.
John, right.
And so Dan Penny, a.k.a. David Feeney, wrote this to JetBlue. He told them about meeting this woman. He just wanted to track her down. Who is she? What's her name? How can
they made love in the plane without him ever finding out her name. So he wrote them and said, "Hey, listen, can you please help me out?" They gave him the brush off. He wrote them again and said, "If you can't handle this, then I'm going to have to hire this private investigator in Beverly Hills named Eugene Godlewski. His nickname is Snoops. Snoops will handle it." Snoops immediately then emails, and this is all me doing it to JetBlue and CCing JetBlue on every step of the way because I was bored. Then emails JetBlue and says, "This guy Dan Penny is crazy. Let's just try to milk him for as much money as we can." Then Dan Penny finds out about this letter, so he and Eugene Godlewski have this gigantic feud wherein Dan Penny insults Eugene's brother Jebediah, who has a bad leg,
right?
And he calls him not handsome, and all of these things. And because of that, Eugene is really mad at Dan. And then so Dan Penny fires Eugene. Then Eugene says, "Fine, but I have some expenses that you need to pay me back for." And he submits an $1,100 dinner bill. So then Dan Penny gets upset at that. And then finally Eugene says, "Where's my money?" So then Dan Penny says, "What I'll do is I'll pay for half that bill, and JetBlue will pay for the other half." So Eugene Godlewski Snoops gives JetBlue an invoice, and then Dan Penny. The last time we checked up on these two, sent a check to Eugene Godlewski, but the memo said, "I have a gun," and that got Eugene Godlewski into some trouble.
And to be clear, Godlewski and Penny are both David Feeney.
Everything's
but as they exchange the letters, JetBlue is at minimum attached to them all, and periodically JetBlue customer service or marketing department or whatever is weighing in, trying to
they're quote unquote crew members, one named Michael, one named Stephanie, and so I've been seeing them on each leg of this.
People are wild for these letters, so let's get to it.
And so this last one we did was the check. So then Eugene got a check that said, "I have a gun." It was addressed it was paid to the order of Handjob Godlewski, and that got him in some hot water at the bank. And he's like, "What happened to the rest of my money?" is what he wants. And then, of course, so I let that simmer for a couple of weeks. There was no emailing back and forth. And then finally, I decided to have Dan Penny let the group know, meaning Michael, Stephanie, and Eugene, what he's been up to. So here we go. From Dan Penny to Eugene Godlewski, "Dear JetBlue," subject heading, "So sorry. Dear Snoops, Michael, and Stephanie. Hey, gang. I'm aware I've been MIA the last few weeks, and for that, I apologize."
All three are that, Michael and Stephanie and Snoop.
I know what you're thinking. Dan Penny is a very successful film producer and our major talent. He must be burning the candle at both ends, making yet another Hollywood blockbuster. Well, that's true. It's not the reason you haven't heard from me. To build suspense, it's my profession. I'll tell you what I've been up to in 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I found a woman for my JetBlue fight.
Excellent news.
Let me tell you how this plot story happened. After getting zero help from Godlewski and JetBlue, I grabbed the bull by the bagoots and hired a Bel Air PI who came highly recommended. I won't say their name, but they made their bones working for the Menendez brothers. Not too shabby. Anyway, 10 days and 160,000 oysters later, they found my love in a trailer park in Tustin.
Pretty penny for
They found my love in a trailer park in Tustin. She was in a knife fight with her landlord. Apparently, she was 6 months late paying rent. After swooning, I quickly squared things with her landlord. I had the money in my pocket. Then we left, and not to shove it in your face, but my girl and I have picked up right where we left off. I'm in love. Okay, so she's rough around the edges. For starters, she picked 3 fights with the mailman. And she's always telling me how tasty she thinks my gardener is. Also,
He's tasty.
Also, I don't think I've ever seen her wear shoes. Oh, And she calls everything steak. Chicken is bird steak, pork is pig steak, a piece of fish is sea steak. The drill.
What a weird woman. This is the woman, as a reminder, this is the woman who, when she offered Dan Penny to make love 30,000 feet in the sky, had a sandwich with her. She took it into the dirty toilet with her.
This woman is trash, Clea, but we'll keep going. A piece of fish is
pig steak.
A piece of fish is sea steak. You get the drill. But no way am I embarrassed. She makes me feel handsome.
That's a great line. All right.
And not only is she a better, and not only that is she's a better lover than I remember. We've done. Not only is she a better lover than I remember, we've done everything.
What does that even mean? Done everything.
But she's also an apple. She's also an apple of an actress. I was so impressed by her presence that I cast her in Penny Pictures' latest kids movie, Slugworth's Revenge, our unlicensed sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And I'm not talking about giving her one or two lines as I would for a charity case like Snoop's loser brother, Ugly. I'm talking about the lead. She's playing Dot, Slugworth's smoking hot girlfriend who convinces him to kill Charlie. I don't want to spoil the ending, so I won't tell you if she and Slugworth succeed. Just rest assured it's the role she was born to play. My story department said it would sink the studio, so I fired them. They don't know talent. Now, I can't say it's been all paradise. It wasn't easy telling Megan I was leaving her for a woman who only washes herself with the backyard hose. Oh, yeah, she uses the hose. She hates showers. My lady's crazy.
Megan, by the way, just for anybody, again, Megan is the mother of the brand new infant of Dan Penny, right?
That's right. It was his girlfriend for years. His girlfriend for years and years and years.
And they were
Megan
engaged,
did not take the news well. After calling me a Hollywood weasel, she sliced the crotches out of my Loxamana suits. Very expensive. Grabbed our son and took off. I have no idea where they went. Guess that's show business for you.
Michael and Stephanie at JetBlue headquarters. You got to keep that in your mind.
That they're reading all of
Michael
it.
and Stephanie are reading this.
Right. I'll tell you this, though. She won't get a nickel out of me. Is what she... By then, in parentheses, at the end of the movie, Slugworth kills Charlie. There, I ruined the ending, you jerks. All of this is my way of saying that with Megan and the kid out of the picture, me and my sweetheart are engaged. We're getting married at the Beverly Hills Hotel in September, not cheap, and would like the three of you to attend.
They're invited.
Even though you guys did scat to bring us together, you've been a big part of our journey, and to exchange vows without you there wouldn't be right. Not to rush you, but the earlier you RSVP, the better. The guest list is going to be packed neck to nuts with A-list ass. Sincerely, D. Penny. Then, of course, I had to attach the wedding invitation. And here you go. Go down there, Gary.
Let's see it.
There it is. It reads, with pictures, you are cordially invited to the Hollywood wedding of Tony Mudd and Daniel Penny. September 5th this year, the magic hour of the Beverly Hills Hotel, Hollywood reception to follow. Which I thought was pretty great.
Hollywood reception. All the bells and whistles associated with Tinseltown weddings. Yes.
I just like the fact that now Megan and Stephanie, if they're reading this, are now invited to this wedding. Do they RSVP? Do they RSVP? I'm sure this was passed around. It's insanity. It's insanity. And of course, it's been going on for so long. It must be real. Like I've said, these two imaginary people are making this happen. And I finding Tony Mudd's picture is one of my great joys, I remember.
She's a beautiful woman.
She's a beautiful
No one can argue that.
So then, of course, JetBlue did not respond. But, of course, Gene Galuski has to respond to this because he was invited to this wedding. So from Eugene Galuski to Dan Penny, and, of course, he CC'd JetBlue. No way in hell am I going to this wedding. And not that I care one way or the other, but you're making a big mistake marrying this woman. She sounds bad news. Michael, Stephanie, back me up. Good out. Stay safe, Gene Galuski, G2, Galuski Investigation. It's between us. So, of course, then now because JetBlue was not responding to me, I had to have Eugene and Dan Penny get in a fight. So here we go.
Isn't it, by the way, isn't it a weird thing that the Godlewski investigations is a direct rival of the Daves of Thunder detective agency?
That's interesting, except our detective agency is real. But yes, I completely get that. I think I think maybe we should consider that. If I knew that back then, I would have put that in there.
Fair.
That's pretty funny.
Please press on.
From Dan Penny to Eugene Godlewski to Dear Jet and CCing JetBlue. Bad news, he called it bad news. How dare you? If you're not with Tony and I on this, Snoops, you're against us. So consider yourself uninvited to the wedding. Think I care? I'm rich. Just means
Michael and Stephanie right now in JetBlue.
Just means more champagne and turkey steak for us. Yeah, Tony calls turkey steak. Don't understand that one. She knows the word turkey. Why not just call it turkey? It's a head scratcher. You know what, Snoops? Michael and Stephanie are happy for me. Why can't you be? Maybe you spend a little more time with a woman who wants repo sex 24/7 instead of eating white truffle pasta on my dime with your flamingo brother, one leg. Maybe you wouldn't be so jealous. And that's clearly what you are, jealous. If you ask me, you're the one who's bad news. Nobody loves you, D. Penny.
So mean.
So I like the fact that there was that he referenced something called repo sex. So of course, Gene Godlewski had to respond. So again, to JetBlue, why are you uninviting me to the wedding? I already said I wasn't coming. Are you crazy? And I've never heard of repo sex, but it sounds weird and unhealthy. Behavior like that by this woman is exactly what I'm talking about. Stay safe, G2. Godlewski investigate is between us. Then of course, Dan Penny had to write back immediately. From Dan Penny to Gene Godlewski. You don't know what repo sex is? Now who's being naive? It's when you and your partner go to a parking lot at a sporting event. We like Sparks games. Find a car, Jimmy open the door, jump inside and make love in the back seat. Then, when you're done and dewy, you slide your clothes back on, get behind the wheel and drive away. It's hot as hell. Everyone knows this but you. Signed D. Penny. So then, of course,
repo sex. You know what? Damashek is also naive. I didn't know about this.
So then Eugene Godlewski immediately has to respond. Again, CCing JetBlue. The two of you are straight up stealing cars. And why does it have to be at a sporting event? This is so messed up. Get out of this relationship. Michael, Stephanie, your silence on this is deafening. Please leave me and my brother alone. Signed G2. Godlewski investigate is between us. So now here's the last one of this week before you go on, Gary, before you go on. So then, of course, I waited a few days. I had fun them going back and forth.
Two completely made up people arguing for Stephanie and Michael and JetBlue.
It's
so stupid. It's so stupid that their heads must be spinning. Even if they thought it was a bit at one point, they must be saying to each other at lunch over there at JetBlue as they're in the cafeteria, like, did you see the latest one? What the hell is wrong with these two?
And I just really like that. It started like, I want you guys to come to, I mean, it was just vitriol between, then it became like, come to my wedding. Then Eugene is rude about it. And then Penny's like, fine, you're not invited. And then they start going into back and forth about what repo
I'm not fired. I quit.
And Eugene is like looking out for Dan in a weird way. But anyway, so Dan Penny was pretty hard on Eugene. Eugene was pretty hard on Dan Penny. But then Eugene was also upset because Dan was really upset at Eugene making fun of Gene's brother. And so then I waited a couple of days, and then now here's where it takes a turn. From Eugene Godlewski to Dan Penny, Dear JetBlue, hope you assholes are happy. Then you go down, and it's his brother's obituary.
Snoops, brother with the bad leg killed himself.
The picture.
He killed himself.
That's pretty.
He killed himself, and Michael and Stephanie need to read about it now. Here's the article from the LA Times. Oh man, that's good.
And we can read the obituary if you want.
Jeb Godlewski, go ahead.
It's Reseda man kills himself. And then I put a picture of, for you listening, is a picture of Damashek at the farmer's market from years ago. Jedediah, here's the obituary. Jedediah Godlewski, 49 of Reseda, was found dead in the garage of the home he shared with his brother Monday morning. The Ventura County coroner issued a certificate of death by acute carbon monoxide poisoning with suicidal intent. It was reported Mr. Godlewski had been ill for some time. The man was found by his brother Eugene, 45 of Reseda, in his vehicle, a sheet of paper taped to his chest with the word handsome written on it.
I hope Dan Penny's happy.
Born in Reseda, son of Franklin and Kat Godlewski, Jeb, as those closest called him, attended Glendale Community College before severely injuring himself in a trampoline accident. He later worked as associate custodian at Grover Cleveland Charter High School in Reseda, as well as an executive assistant for a local private investigation concern. He is survived by no one. Oh. And that wraps up another week in JetBlue letters.
Oh man, oh man!
And I promise next week will be the last set of letters when the two of them.
Do you think we'll ever hear from JetBlue, from Michael and Stephanie?
Well, I can promise you next week that JetBlue did respond to these. Wow. So there was a JetBlue response, their last one next week. I'll read that, and then we will draw to a close the saga of the JetBlue letters.
Oh, man, I can't believe Jeb did that just because of what Dan Penny had to say about him.
Right. Very, very upset. He was very, very upset. And you'll see how upset he is next week.
Stephanie and Michael. Yeah, very good. Very good.
Very good.
And everybody needs to watch these on YouTube because the way Dan Penny writes, he puts things in parentheses where he's like Hollywood-splaining his terms. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. I couldn't agree more. YouTube.com/Days of Thunder. If you're hearing this as a podcast, it's available now. So, God, bravo.
Good.
Excellent. Very funny. All right. I don't think there's anywhere left to go after that. So let's cut it off there. Play the music, if you would. The Ewoks on the Endor moon. They have vanquished Anakin, nay, Darth, and the rest of the evil empire now. All is right in the universe, as it is here in our universe. The Ewoks sing the song of joy. There's nothing to worry about. So we'll be back with, I guess that'll be the big conclusion of the JetBlue letter writing campaign from one David Feeney. We'll have that for you. Who knows what other Hooey and applesauce. Oh, we do know. It'll be the big pitch session. They're going to feel the heat. It ain't easy, right, David Feeney? A lot of people say, people say I'm funny. People always said I was a class clown. I think I could be a comedy writer. It's about showing up when you have to show up to pitch ideas, right?
Under the lights. You got to be able to do it under the lights.
There's no room for, I just couldn't come up with anything today. You gotta show up when it's time to show up. And so we'll see how Birdbath Gary v. Lil D do going head-to-head in their comedy pitches to David Feeney, showbiz, moneymaker, you can see power player, and so on. So we'll have that for you next week. In the meantime, great stuff, David Feeney, Gary, Donovan, BTLs, Monkeys. Keep the letters, the voicemails, the songs. Keep them coming. And in fact, step up your game a little bit, why don't you? Drop us a line, send us a song or some other, one of your creations. Share it with us, and we'll be happy to share it here on Days of Thunder. Until next time, thanks so much, BTLs and Monkeys. It's been a thin slice of heaven.